Hello and welcome to episode 35 of The Morning After from Engadget. My name's Matt Smith, and each week I break down the biggest and at least most interesting tech stories from the last 7 days. Obviously, we're straight off the back of Samsung's big Unpacked event in Paris because Olympics, I guess. So we have lots of news from that as well as everything else that's happened. But let's just get straight into it, okay? I got to attend Samsung's London satellite event, and it was hard to glean which product the company wanted to showcase most. On one hand, you have the foldables, the Flip and the Fold, which are gaining momentum and becoming better devices and not just overpriced curiosities. This generation of foldables has improved cameras, particularly the Flip 6, as well as hardier hinges and more 8-eye tricks, like the kind we saw on the standard-shaped S24. However, they are both more expensive than their predecessors. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 will start at $1,900, while the Z Flip 6 starts at $1,100. But wait, that might not have been the main event. Samsung also had an entirely new device. Well, a device it's teased twice already. The Galaxy Ring. Yeah, it's already announced it about twice, but for all that hype, by its nature, the Galaxy Ring doesn't make a huge impression in person. It's a subtle, understated smart ring that's meant to look like a ring. It packs in all these impressive sensors, but we know smart rings can do that. Now, interestingly enough, I think the killer feature may be the lack of something, and that is the lack of subscription fee. That's something both Oura, the main smart ring competitor, and Google-owned Fitbit offer, making the devices attached to those subscriptions a little less attractive, to be honest. These companies are expecting us to pay $5 a month. $5 a month for them to tell me I look tired. Tell me something I don't read already in the YouTube comments. Thank you. Samsung obviously didn't stop there because it's Samsung. It rolled out a new Ultra edition of its Galaxy Watch and 3rd generation Galaxy Buds Pro. But this is a short video, your time is precious, and to be honest, they are a little less interesting than everything else. Let's move on. Xbox is increasing the price of its Game Pass again. The second bump in under a year. Yes, Game Pass Ultimate prices will increase from $17 a month up to $20, while a year's access to Game Pass Core will jump from $60 to $75. Now, Game Pass used to be an incredible deal, but it's increasingly being sanded down to just, well, a good deal. It's not all broken. And it's all getting a little bit confusing. Microsoft also introduced, alongside these price increases, Game Pass Standard for $15 a month. You'll still get access to Game Pass titles, but without day one release access to new games released by Microsoft-owned studios, and no access at all to Xbox Cloud Gaming. Now, I long thought Game Pass was Microsoft's killer weapon against PlayStation, but year in, year out, it's getting increasingly nerfed. If you've got money to spend and you don't live in America, Apple Vision Pro has arrived in the UK and several other countries. Yes, while Samsung approaches smart rings, Apple continues to make its spatial computing gambit. The Vision Pro, soon to benefit from its first OS update, has now landed in the UK and other territories. And this is just a way for me to shoehorn in that I've actually tried it now, which is cool. And you know what? Hate to say it, but it's even good. The controls are as intuitive as you've heard and as you've read in all the reviews, and it's the best augmented reality experience I've ever tried by a wide margin, which is annoying because I'm not sure I want it. I think the big caveat, and this is likely to be the case for a little bit longer, may be the lack of things to do. Oh, and the fact that I look like a jacket potato in this photo, although that's probably not the Vision Pro's fault. More news, please. NASA's Mission 1 crew, all volunteers, left their 1,700 square foot habitat at the Johnson Space Center last week, having lived there since last year's June 25th. They conducted simulated Mars walks, grew real vegetables, and also faced a simulation of the stressors actual space travelers to Mars could experience, like a 22-minute communications delay with Earth. Feel like you'd like to live in fake space? Well, if you're qualified, there are plans for 2 more one-year missions. One has already closed applications, but a third is scheduled for 2026. 1 year without social media, election news, the stress of an England football team in a tournament semi-final. Yeah, that's tempting. I got to admit, that's pretty tempting. And that was The Morning After. Thanks once again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all those mandatory things if you like what you've been watching. And we will be back next week. Hope to see you then.